create a small music-themed album with me. It has gorgeous MDF covers, 5 pages inside, and it can hold quite few photos. Hi, it's Emilia and welcome to my channel. Today I will be making a gorgeous mini album using music collection from Stamperia. It's a beautiful collection, perfect for an album with a music theme. For anyone who loves music, it will be a great gift. The album has some pockets, tabs, photo mats inside pages and other interactive things which I'm going to show you how to do through the video tutorial. I'm starting with this crafty shape which I'm going to use for the cover. I'm taking the elements out. This is also from Stamperia music collection, and all the products I'm using today you will find in the description box below the video. I'm going to measure the space on the back of the cover to find out what size of pages I can have inside. It is important that you will leave some gaps on both sides of your page. This way you will know that it will fit nicely into your album. So once I've got the maximum measurements of the page, I'm going to cut some papers, and my pages will be made out of 2 parts. Each page is 12 by 16 centimeters, so I will need one part 12 by 16 and the other part 2 centimeters longer, so 12 by 18 centimeters, and I'm going to score on each short side 1 centimeters away from the edge. So this way I will have got 2 little flaps, and these flaps will help me attach one part to the other part, because I want to have openings on my pages on each side. One opening will be used to attach the spine, and the other one will be to put the photo mat inside the page. I'm attaching a tape and a glue to each little flap, and I'm just going to adhere those parts together, and this way I will create each page. I will have 5 pages in total. In this video I will guide you through each step. Some things are sped up because the video would be really long, and some things maybe I will miss. But if you have any questions, you can always ask me in the comments. So next step will be to create the spine. Please notice that I created the spine which is totally wrong size. I will give you the measurements in the description box below the video, but I do keep that video here because I want to show you the process of creating the spine, although I do have that in the other videos as well explained, so you can see other videos with the mini albums where I show slowly how to do the spine. Basically you take a long piece of paper, you need to score it, create the gaps between the pages, and then create the mountains which will be your things which will let you attach the page to the spine. I am not very good at explaining things. I hope you will understand that by looking at this, how I'm doing it here. But like I say, this is the wrong. It's basically too short for my album, because instead of taking the side of the page, I measured the bottom of the page. So I will make a correct spine and you will see it later. It's a hidden hinge spine, I think really well known for all the crafters, but if you are not familiar with it, there are tons of tutorials on YouTube how to make it. I will quickly show you the paper collection I'm using today. It's absolutely beautiful. The colors and the designs are so gorgeous. It has many elements which you can cut out, and I will be using these elements today. I already pre-cut all the pages for the albums, the pattern paper, and each paper is slightly smaller than the base of my page. I've got some remaining paper which I'm going to use later, and I also did cut out all the elements, large labels, little envelope, booklets, tags. I probably will use it all. I also used a cutting dies, little tabs which I'm going to use later on the side of my photo mats. And today I will be using a lot circle punch, and I also created little flap with the decorative edge. I used cutting die for that, but you can also use a punch. So these elements will be used through the video. And now I'm going back to the creating the album. So I now have the correct spine, the correct length of it, and I also pre-cut a piece of chipboard which is slightly taller than my spine and the same width as the spine, and I'm going to cover that with a piece of paper from the collection. I have chosen that beautiful turquoise paper, and this will be used to connect the covers. For most of the attaching the elements to each other in the video, I will be using tape and glue. When the glue is not needed, maybe only tape, but I always suggest to use both, as I'm not trusting the tape fully. But if you have really strong tape, maybe you could suggest it to me, please. So I'm trimming the paper a little bit. You don't need much on the sides. 1.5–2 centimeters is enough to attach to the cover, and then I will fold it on the top and on the bottom on the short side, and then I will please notice I didn't add any glue apart that glue is on the chipboard at the moment, as I'm going to score and burnish the paper first. Then I will add a glue to connect those like the little places on the side of the chipboard on the both ends. When you're working with the paper, it is important not to rush too much. You can use the bone folder to define the places where the paper should fold, because it can crack easily, and we of course want to avoid that. So before attaching the spine to the cover, I mixed some paints. I used the ivory light, dark blue and green to create a color matching the spine, and it actually looked pretty well. I'm so happy with that mixture, and I used the sponge to apply it to the cover. I will do it on both sides of each cover. And while the covers are drying, I'm going to work on my pages. So some pages will have flaps, tabs, and I will show you how to do some of it. I will not be doing every single step today, as the video, like I said before, it's really long already. For closures of the tabs or envelopes, I usually use magnets, but this is my personal preference. There are other things that you can use to keep the things together. I just find the magnets easy solution. In this album, one side of the page will be interactive, will have a waterfall, tabs or envelopes, and the other side will be left plain, just to stick the photo on. I love these papers and I don't think they need a lot of decoration. The album looks absolutely beautiful. But of course, if you are about, love embellishments, you can customize this album the way you love. I'm just giving you a simple idea how you can do it to have minimum decorations, but to create something pretty. On this page, as you can see, I have two flaps, one on one side and the other on the other side. They will closure with a magnet. Of course, I'm planning the magnet before adhering any paper, the pattern paper, as it is much easier to do it this way. So I'm planning each page at the time and adhering the paper, and then when this like a base will be created, I can attach it to the spine and then finish off with embellishments. Again, this is my way of working. You can do it differently. Some people create the base first with attaching it to the spine and the covers, and then they decorate. I prefer to have the pattern paper on my pages before I adhere them to the spine. On this page I'm going to create little waterfall, so I've got 5 flaps in total. The top one have like a double score to create a little spine, you could say. So it's not attached so flat to the page, and it will give a space when the photos will be attached to the flaps, because the waterfall will got a bit bulky, and this waterfall will be kept in place by the tab created with Assorted. I'm starting with the top flap. I position it with a space from the edge of the page and also with the equal gap on the sides, and then I will attach the remaining flaps, checking if everything is straight and in line. For the flap, keeping the waterfall in place, I'm going to use a piece of acetate. You can create it in the size you wish. Mine is around 3 centimeters wide, and I will attach it first to the bottom of the page. It is scored around 2 centimeters from the edge. I'm measuring the center of my page, and it goes first on the bottom side of your page, and then we fold it over to connect it with the waterfall. So I will be using magnets again. One magnet will be attached to the flap and the other magnet will be attached to the top flap of the waterfall. And I will decorate that later. I just wanted to know the position of the magnets at that point. And this page is ready to be attached to the base page of the album. Next, I'm going to create a little flap for the other page, and this flap will have some stamping on. I'm sorry about putting my head into the image, but I just wanted to make sure that it goes nicely, and straight with the other part of the design. I used one of the old Stamperia stamps for that, and this little flap will have a small envelope on top of it. For the closure of the envelope, I'm using the sticky fabric pieces to keep it closed, and then I will attach the flap to the base of my page. I will adhere the paper to it, and I will also adhere the envelope to the little flap. As you can see, there are many ideas to decorate the pages, and you can make it in many different ways. Sometimes it's really a good idea to go with the collection, see what elements are in the collection, and then how you can use them in your album. So this is the exact example, because that envelope has a certain size, and I wanted the flap which is on the envelope be only slightly larger than the envelope. So I couldn't just create a flap with a size much larger than the envelope, because I was going for that look that actually the envelope is also a flap. The next page will have a little pocket. I created it with the pattern paper, and it has the little detail in the middle of it. For that I used a circle punch, and I punched like 1/3 of the circle, measuring first where is the center of the pocket, and I'm attaching it to the page. Inside I will put some photo mats. I'm going back to my waterfall for a second. I'm sorry that I'm jumping from one page to another. The next tutorial I will try to do it more I don't know, more organized. This is how I work. It's really chaotic, and I really tried to make it as clear as possible for you, but probably you will see that I do one thing, then I go to next one, then I go back to the previous one, because I've got another idea. So here I'm cutting a little pieces of paper which I'm going to add to each of the flap on the waterfall. This is just decorative element, you totally can skip that, but I thought it will look nicely. As I had a lot of offcuts of the papers, I thought I'm going to use them in any way I can, to those little scraps to incorporate into my album. So the pages are now done. We've got one with the small envelope, one with the waterfall, one with two flaps, the next one with a little pocket, and then this one with a small flap. And these are all the pages. Now I'm just going to back to my covers. They are dry now. I'm going to add some stamping. I will not be adhering any paper to the front of the covers. I will only decorate them with the stamps from the music collection. And of course you can do so much with the covers here. I just wanted to keep it simple, because I will have a little paper decoration inside that window on the front cover, but the back cover only the stamping. Now it's time to attach the spine to the cover. I've got that piece with the chipboard, I've got the spine with the hidden hinge, and I'm just going to connect everything with the covers. I actually using the covers upside down because I wanted to use the white part of the front cover when you've got the opening to attach the spine. It would be very tricky to attach it to that narrow part of the front cover where you've got the window. So I will adhere the spine to the back of the cover first. I'm using glue for that. Here you just place it at the edge of your cover and burnish everything. Go slowly, do not rush, make sure that everything is nice and straight and in the position. Then I will attach it to the front cover. Next step is to adhere hidden hinge to the spine. I'm just adding the tape of the back of the hidden hinge, and then I will also add glue. I'm not adding any on the sides of the hidden hinge, those 2 centimeter sides of each side. I'm just keeping it without any glue or tape at the moment. I will position my hidden hinge first on the spine, and before I will adhere it permanently, I want to make sure that everything is in the good position. Then I will burnish it through the gaps between the pages, and when I'm happy with the position of the hidden hinge, I will add a glue on the sides and attach that hidden hinge to the spine. For the closure of the album, I'm going to use a piece of lace and a brad. So the lace will be attached to the back of the cover underneath the paper, and it will go to the front. The brad will be on the front. You could use 2 pieces of lace or ribbon, but I thought about that fun way of closing it. Before adhering the paper to the back cover, I'm going to add 1 page to the spine, and then I will adhere that paper because I wanted it to be in line with the pages. Now I'm going to attach each page to the spine. I use double-sided tape on the spine. The important thing here is do not go with your page to the very bottom part of the spine, to that hidden hinge. You want to keep it a little bit away from the scoring lines. Also, do not rush that part, it's better to do it slowly. Check with the previous pages if everything is in line and straight. Of course, if you want your album to look nice and tidy. Before adhering that paper to the front cover, I'm going to decorate front of it first, as I wanted to have some pattern paper on the front of the cover. I'm using the offcuts which were left from cutting the pages, and I will join two pieces together. Here I wanted to have a piece with the keyboard on the top of that page, I mean that front window, so I will be putting those two paper together. I'm measuring everything, and then I will cut off the excess. I will adhere both parts, and then I will adhere that paper to the front cover. Before adhering pattern paper to the other side of the cover, I'm going to place my brad first, and this is important to plan these things, because later if I put the pattern paper on the other side first and then I will go with the brad, I will have to find a way to cover it. Of course it is possible, but it's better to think about each stage carefully and plan it, and then you can avoid many mistakes which I've done in the past so many times. So the brad cannot go fully in, it needs a little space where I can then later put my lace. So this is the thing that you keep in mind here. Then I will make a little hole in the lace to be able to just put it through the brad, and I will cut off the excess of the lace, as I don't need such a long part. I just need to be slightly longer than where my brad is. And I will attach that little music note, I don't know the name of it, to the cover. But first I'm going to attach the pattern paper to both papers on the covers from the inside. I will go to finish off everything that needs to be finished inside the album, and then I will take care of the front cover. So here with that waterfall we need something to cover our magnet. I will be using 2 circles and a lovely decorative chipboard piece from the music collection. It will just work perfectly here. So I'm adhering both circles first, having that acetate piece with the magnet between them. Make sure that everything is just stuck properly here. You want that decorative piece to stay in place and to hold that piece with the magnet. On the other page where I had that flaps not decorated fully, I'm going to add one of the labels from the collection. Then I also going to create a little pocket on the back cover. As I'm using offcuts at that point, also offcuts of that craft paper. Instead of creating the pocket out of one piece, I'm just adding the sides and the bottom pieces that were cut separately. But you know, it's a good way to use any remaining papers you have. I also punched a little opening in the middle of that pocket, and then I'm going to attach it sideways to the back of the cover, and I will put some photo mats inside. Next, I'm going to create the mats which will go inside each page. These mats are slightly smaller than the page because I want them to be able to put them in and out easily. I'm rounding the corners on each mat, and then I will adhere a piece of paper on the one side of each mat and add a little tab. The tabs will be placed in random places, not all in the same place on the mat, just for you know, that was just my idea. No explanation for it. But of course, if you want to have tabs in the same place on each page, you can definitely do that. From the paper cutouts from the collection, I took a little tiny pocket, and I'm going to adhere it to that small flap. It has a perfect size. Inside I will put a little tag and also like a small page which you can open and add some writing there, you know, something super cute to write something down, or to put a message or to adhere very tiny photos. It's now time to finish off the cover, so I'm inking that my music note with the brown ink, and I'm going to add a stamping on top of it as well, because I thought it's just a bit too plain. I'm using one of the new stamps from Stamperia. It's from Vicky's collection, Dewdrops. It has the stamp with the text. I'm first trying on the bottom of that music note, and I could see that it goes really nicely, so I'm adding stamping here and there on that element, and then I'm going to adhere the element to the front cover. For that I use extra strong glue. You can use gel medium as well, to be sure that this element, because it's quite large, you know, and heavier than the paper, will stay in place. And this is the finished album. I just love it so much, and I hope you will like it too. And I really want to encourage you to create your own. Please let me know, what do you think about the video? Is it too long? It's not too long? Is it enough details for you to create and be inspired by this video? Shall I show you more in detail how to do everything? Would you like the tutorial to be like in parts, where each part is done very slowly? I would like to know your thoughts about that. And I want to thank you very much for joining me today. It was a really long video. I hope that you've seen at least most of it. And let me know if you would like similar projects in the future. Thank you as well for commenting underneath my videos. It means a lot to me. Have a lovely creative day. Bye bye!